guys, my name is Shanice Watts and I'm a first year physician assistant student here at Stanford. And so today we're going to head to Principles of Clinical Medicine, then we're going to go to a lunch talk, and after that we're going to do some clinical skills and shadow at the hospital. So let's get started. So I'm about to head into lecture on Principles of Clinical Medicine, and this is a course where we learn about different organ blocks and the disease processes associated with different illnesses. So last quarter we learned about derm, ENT, MSK, and neuro, and this quarter we're learning about cardio and pulm. So let's head in. So we just learned about PFTs, which are pulmonary function tests, and spirometry, which are really important in diagnosing different lung conditions like asthma and COPD, as well as emphysema. So now we're headed to a lunch seminar to learn about strokes. So let's go. Hey guys, so we just came from a lunch seminar, which we go to on most days to learn about some cool topics and eat some good food.
I'm Laura. I'm also a first year PA student here at Stanford, and right now we're both on our way to clinical skills.
So in our practice of medicine course, we actually take it with the med students, and in this course we actually learn our clinical skills along with medical ethics, quantitative medicine, and health policy.
So like she mentioned, in clinical skills, what we do is we learn the physical exam, and after we've learned that in Q2 and now we're in Q3, and so what we're doing now is how to apply those physical exams with a patient that we see. And so that's just learning diagnostics. And so we see a patient, and according to their symptoms, what physical exam do we choose from, and how do we apply that? And so alongside that, we also have been seeing patients both in the hospital and in clinics, and just learning how it actually comes together in the real world.
And so now we're going to practice our clinical skills. We're going to focus on cardiovascular, pulmonary, and cranial nerves. So I chose PA school because I like the idea of being able to change specialties seamlessly. So that means, let's say, working in primary care first and then possibly going into neurosurgery if you have multiple interests.
I definitely agree with that. I also wanted to add on that I really like the flexibility of being a PA and the fact that once you're at home and off work, you're off work. Unlike a doctor where you can be on call and have, to do charts at home. When I was pre-med, the whole reason I wanted to be a doctor was to see patients, to treat them, and hopefully make their lives better. And working as a scribe, I realized that PAs were essentially doing everything that I wanted to be doing. So I didn't really see a point of going through all that time and spending all that money to do what I wanted, what I could be doing as a PA. So that's why I made the change to PA.
So in terms of the requirements for PA school, you definitely need a bachelor's degree. And you also need paid clinical experience. So they will not take volunteer experience. So some examples of some clinical experience include like being an MA, a CNA, a scribe, paramedic, and EMT, but this all varies from school to school, so it's definitely important to look into that. Another requirement that they have is the GRE.
Some schools require certain classes and some schools don't. I feel like it's less prescribed. Like in medical school, you have a subset of these are the pre-med classes that you need to take. PA school, it's less so. Some schools may require Spanish, some schools may require genetics, and so you really need to look at each individual school's website to see what is necessary in order to get into that school. The PA schools are normally 2 to 3 years, whereas medical school is 4 years plus residency. PA schools generally don't have residencies afterwards. It's expected that you learn on the job. However, it's up and coming now that there are new PA residencies or fellowships, and those are 1-year programs where you can learn about one specialty.
reasons I chose Stanford was because of the people here and the resources they have was really amazing. And that's what they sold me on pretty much when I came here and interviewed, because I initially actually wasn't even going to interview here. I decided that I was going to go elsewhere. But then after looking at the website, plus just the location's amazing, I was like, okay, sure, I'll interview here, why not? And that's pretty much when they sold me on all these things. The people here are really invested in your growth and your learning, and so that's what really kind of sold me.
I chose Stanford because my family is nearby and I want to stay in California and practice as a PA here. So I thought it was the perfect opportunity to network with different physicians and PAs. I also chose Stanford because of the endless opportunities that they offer here. You can do anything that you put your mind to, and you can find a mentor or a faculty member to help you get to where you want to be. So in terms of advice for pre-PA students, I would definitely recommend starting the CASPA process early because it can take a really long time and it's pretty tedious. And a lot of schools have deadlines in July and CASPA opens in April, so it's really important to start early.
Yeah. And also with CASPA, it's really important to kind of set your net wide, especially if you're, worried about maybe not getting into some schools and getting to others. It's nice to have options, especially if you're lucky enough to get into more than one school. It's nice to have that option. But if you're worried about not getting in or something, casting your net wide is the best thing you can do in that situation.
I definitely agree with that. I would also add that it's important to apply to PA school when you think that you're the strongest applicant.
And also setting aside some costs, some like $2,000-$3,000 for flights and hotels, because interview process is very expensive.
You can be housed by a PA student at the school you're applying to during the interview process, and that's a really good way to cut costs if, things are getting expensive.
Yeah, I definitely didn't know about that beforehand, so that's really key.
So in terms of specialty, I'm definitely interested in doing something broad like emergency medicine and then branching into something more specialized like neurosurgery or dermatology.
I have no idea necessarily what exactly I want to go into, but I have a few maybe ideas. I think I also want to start with something broad and like emergency medicine or primary care, and then specialize into, I'm thinking maybe hematology oncology, specifically breast oncology. I scribed there beforehand and I really enjoyed that. Hey guys, so this was a day in the life of a PA student at Stanford. Thanks for watching, and we gotta get back to studying, so yeah.
You guys can follow me at ShaniceW_PA.
And you don't have to follow me. Good. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Neurology and I fucking can't remember. Shit, what was the other one? So I'm about to head upstairs to get some free food and learn about some cool topics.
I also don't know where to look, whether I should be looking at her when she's speaking or at the camera. What's the next step of what I don't know what I'm saying anymore. It's good feedback on the hair.
But
what about the hair?
Oh yeah, if the hair is bad, don't do it. So in terms of
Watts, Stanford, badminton team just showed me how it's done. I got my butt kicked. You guys should follow her. She's gonna be starring in A Day in the Life of a PA Student.
One